Hey friends, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for joining me for another crafty venture. Today I am clearly hopping along with Craft Collabs and our wonderful sponsor, ScraPerfect, who has provided many items and tools for those of us who are participating in this hop today. There will also be a giveaway, and details for the giveaway will be listed down below. I am showing on screen right now several projects that I've made throughout this process. However, with that being said, the focus of this particular video and this hop is more on the tools than it is about the actual projects. So right away, I am jumping right into using one of the wonderful items that was provided to us called the Best Glue Ever. And I have used it as a stenciling medium so that I can foil with it. So I just used some generic stencil from my stash. I watered down just a little bit of the Best Glue Ever and I put it through the stencil with a foam brush. And I allowed that to dry, and now I'm using some Brutus Monroe foil, and ta-da! And this is the card that I made with that particular pull, and then I did another one with some silver foil, and that's the card I made with that. You know me, I had to slide some Halloween in there. With this glue, you can also make your own glue dots. So it's an amazing product. And you know, like any tool, you have to have the right tool for the job. There are a variety of adhesives out there, and this one is a tacky glue, so keep that in mind when you're looking at glues. They dry tacky. That's why they're called tacky glues. So they have their very own specific purposes. This one has lots of uses. You can see that I used it as glue dots, and I did the stenciling with it and the foiling, and here I am making my own glitter paper, y'all. That's right. Again, I watered the glue down just a little bit using that same foam brush, and I'm using my Wow glitters. I've had these glitters forever. I got them from Tuesday Morning, probably 15 years ago. I've had them for a long time, y'all. They've been in my stash a long time. And I don't tend to use glitters, though I do love glitter paper. I don't use the glitter because of the mess. So there's another product that I have that was provided to me, and it is called the Perfect Crafting Pouch. And I wish that I had had the crafting pouch out because that would have helped with some of the static and the mess. But you see this other product that I just pulled out. It's called the Perfect Cleaning Cloth. And that has been very helpful. And you'll see that cloth pop up throughout this video because I use it in many ways. But back to the glue. So I created the glitter paper, and here I have die cut with it, and I guess I don't have the video of the die cutting, but I use the die cut trellis and the frame, and then I end up making 2 shaker cards. And I use this wet glue for everything on these 2 shaker cards. You can see that I'm using that Perfect Cleaning Cloth to clean not only my surface, but also my craft pick and my stencil, and I'm even wiping off mess from my cardstock. So, I mean, very versatile, and I use the wet glue, the Best Glue Ever, for every step on that card, those cards. So, now I'm using them in very different ways. I'm making some little, they're like, I guess, gates out of these thick popsicle sticks. And I used it in 2 different ways, but first let me tell you about this glitter paper. So this 2-tone one I made myself, again with the Wow glitters, and I used 2 different die cuts or dies to make these die cuts. And I have to tell you, these come from my self-made paper. The bright green one there on the right is an old Stampin' Up! Paper. But I have to tell you, I am super impressed with the way this glue made these glitter papers. That's something I will definitely be doing down the road more and more. You can see how kind of floppy the green cardstock is, whereas I just used a black scrap from my stash. And so it's good quality cardstock, so you can use whatever you want to make your glitter papers. And I'm not having any of it rub off, and it's amazing. I really love that. And so I'm taking all of these die cuts. I've made a million, you can see. So the one on the right at the top and the one that I'm working with now, this particular die is from Stamp Market. The other is from Pink Fresh Studio. And I'm just laying all of my die cuts down in circular shape to make 2 different wreaths on essentially like a garden gate kind of feel, right? So, but when I took my popsicle sticks, I glued them together in 2 different ways. One was wet on wet, so I had wet glue along the edge of the popsicle sticks and I stuck them together while they were still wet. And then on the other garden gate, I'll just call it a garden gate. Palette, I don't know, whatever you want to call the popsicle sticks glued together. I did dry on dry, or tacky on tacky, I guess, because when this particular glue dries, it dries to a tacky state. It never fully dries to a hard state. So I did wet on wet, and then I did tacky on tacky, and I have to say that the tacky on tacky had the stronger adhesion. So I was kind of surprised about that, but they both dry flexible. So in the beginning, when you saw me kind of flexing them a little bit, they weren't coming apart, but they just dry flexible. So keep that in mind when you're considering the tools that you need for your specific jobs, right? And again, I'm using the best glue ever for every step on both of these wreaths. So I layered them up. I have various products there. I have cardstock, glitter stock, vellum, wood, the glue dots, the enamel dots. I have a little bit of everything, and it worked amazingly well. So now I am pulling out the Perfect crafting pouch. And it's an anti-static pouch, but it's also so much more. So I've only used it really as an anti-static pouch. So, but you can use it for printing, stamping, ink drying, embossing, anti-static, clay releasing, sticker deactivating, multi-purpose crafting tool. Bum, bum, bum. I love the little handle that it has. That's really cool. So you can hold it and keep your fingers out of the anti-static powder. But I wish that I would have had this out when I was using the glitter, because you'll see in a little bit I actually use the pouch to kind of de-static my coffee filter. But I have to say that it works amazing as an anti-static for heat embossing. I did not have any stray embossing powder, and I did this 3 different ways. I used clear. See there, I was anti-staticking my coffee filter, and it worked amazing. And I anti-staticked my Misty, and I anti-staticked the paper. I anti-staticked my hands. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But I don't have any stray embossing powder with the black, with the pink, with the clear. None of it. None of it went astray. And you can see, I mean, I didn't go crazy with putting the powder down. I just swiped it across. Very effective, very good tool. Keep in mind with every tool, there's a learning curve, right? You have to figure out, so if you have multiple hammers, you have to figure out which hammer you need for which job. Multiple shovels, right? Not every shovel works for every task. So not every glue is going to work the same for every task either. So you have to figure that out for yourself. And then there's also a learning curve, right? You didn't know how to use a hammer the first time you pulled it out. You didn't know how to use a drill or a screwdriver the first time you pulled them out. It took some practice. It took some learning. So with that being said, I am very happy with my projects, and you don't get a good project if you don't use a good tool and the right tool. So you can see, as going back to my ink blending and heat embossing process here, there's no stray bits. These are pretty busy stamps, or it's a stamp on 3 different surfaces, right? But the only thing that heat embossed was the stamp. There was no excess, and it makes my heart happy because I love a mandala, and I'm so happy with how these came out. So this was clear embossing powder on white cardstock, as you can see, and then I'm just doing that ink blending with shades of pinks and purple. And I'm really happy with it. In the end, I'll bring it up a little bit closer. There we go. No strays. No strays. And then this is pink. It is actually the embossing glaze from Ranger and Tim Holtz. It's the Kitsch Flamingo. And I'm using pool colors, as you can see, to do my ink blending. And I think it's such a beautiful color combo. You can see how fast I have that sped up, right? Like, whose hand can go that fast? But again, the focus is on the fact that even with a colored embossing powder or glaze, there's no strays. And you saw that I did not wipe that crafting pouch over my paper very many times. It's just like no different than I would of any other tool. And you can see with the cleaning cloth, I'm using it wet, I'm using it dry, I'm using it with water, I'm using it with alcohol, I'm using it with hand sanitizer, I'm using it with a variety of different things to clean up, and even just wet. You know, it works kind of as a staticky cloth itself, in that it attracts the glitter, it attracts the embossing powder, the little crumbs and things, all those little paper shaving bits that we have all over the dust. It attracts all of it, and it holds on to it until you shake it out over a trash can. So it's a pretty amazing little cloth. I've used it to clean my computer screen, to clean my laptop, the whole keyboard place, because that gets really gross. I've cleaned my desk surface. I've cleaned my glass mat. I have cleaned, obviously you can see I'm using it to clean my brushes. I've cleaned ink. I've cleaned glue. I've cleaned any number of things, including my glasses. So, and here, even though it's damp, I'm using it to wipe the excess ink off of the heat embossing, and it works perfectly well without reactivating that ink. And my hands are clean. And so here are my 3 embossed panels, no stray embossing powders whatsoever. Beautiful. And then these are my 3 cards. So I was a busy, busy girl. And I didn't even get to show you all of the different ways that you can use all the different projects or products to make your projects. So again, I will link to ScraPerfect downstairs, to the YouTube channel, to the website, etc., so that you can go and you can see some of these videos that Amy has created herself. You can see all the different ways to use these products. And the next participant, the next crafter maker, is in the description box downstairs. So please hop along, see what everybody else is doing, all the beautiful makes and the creativity and the different ways to use these new tools, or at least they're new to us. So if you guys have any experience with ScraPerfect, let me know what that is. Talk to me downstairs. Let me know what that is. And guys, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Please hop along, show some love. Make sure that you check out all of the information in terms of the giveaway and the hop. And again, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. I'll see you next time. I'm out.